And we are live. Welcome to Sunday's live stream, live from Tenby. Tonight's show is going to be awesome. So we've got Richard from Richard's Vinyl Tap House on the show, as usual. We have Daryl, north as you can possibly get, with the polar bears up there skiing and all that kind of stuff from Northern Vinyl Guy. We've got Joe from On a Vinyl and Racer Joe this evening. And then we've got my good friend Rob from Northern Revolutions who's joined us again tonight. So thank you guys for joining us. So tonight's stream is going to be albums that you didn't get the first time. And the second play you give it, you thought, yeah, I really like this album. And it's become one of your kind of either go-to or you really enjoy that album now. So, yeah, so we'll go through the panel real quick. So how was your week been? Rich, what have you been up to?
What am I up to?
Scared him.
Hey, you put me on the spot. Let's see. For video, I know I did the whole thing about getting a big, huge box, well, many boxes of freebie records and culling down to like, oh my gosh, there were some real gems in there. So I've been doing that. I've been running around town. I have been busy this week, more busy than normal. So I'm kind of like tired today. That's what's up.
You had your live stream on Friday. That went pretty well.
Live stream on Friday. That was fun too. I'm trying to find a time that works for North America and the rest of the world, and I don't think there is one. Because when I want to start it at like 3:00 my time, people on the East Coast are either just getting off work. Emma had to stay at school late and do something for homecoming. I was just like, ah. So I can't win. But thank you for stepping in at the last minute, Chris.
Yeah, Liz was saying to me, we were sitting down watching Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus. I don't know if anybody's seen it yet, with Gary Oldman. Really, really good program. It's about
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
It should be getting way more recognition than it does. But Oldman is unbelievable in that. Such a piece of shit, but he's so good at it.
I've never seen Gary Oldman smoke so many cigarettes and have so many kebabs and be so dirty. In the same clothes.
Exactly.
It's kind of,
and he was Sid Vicious once. So there you go. Right?
Yeah. Okay, Daryl, what have you been up to this week, mate? Video wise, have you put anything out? Because I'm on catch up as it is.
Not too much music wise. I haven't put out any videos. I got to get some stuff done, but once again, it's just busy trying to find things. I got a whole list. Like I'm kind of the flip of Rob, where Rob's running out of ideas. I've got ideas. I just don't have the time to get them on video. But I was surprised. I woke up this morning. Morton Ostad had loaded up a video for Richard's 1 year anniversary, and I was on there with a suggestion that he bought that I brought back from Spain. So I was mentioned on a video. So I was happy with that.
Cool, mate. Cool. Rob, I haven't had a chance to catch up with you, mate. So, how was The Darkness?
Phenomenal. I won't tell my story about almost meeting Justin Hawkins again, because God forbid if Simon tunes in, he'll get pissed off and bent out of shape. So, it was everything that the venue was a shithole and the acoustics are crap, but the band was absolutely phenomenal. They were everything that I hoped that they would be. So bucket list checked.
Did you go watch Blue Rodeo? Was that this week or was that next week?
No, that's coming out. That's another like 5 or 6 weeks from now.
Okay. I'd be more excited to watch Adam Baldwin, to be honest.
Well, that's why I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as Blue Rodeo is my favorite.
Yeah.
I've seen them be 54 times. So, always awesome. I know what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
This is only like 8 or 9 for Adam. So,
okay, cool.
More excited.
Joe, how's the shopping doing, mate?
Shop's good, standard fare, getting her done. I bought a couple of collections, nothing major, but it's always good. It's a bit of a struggle sometimes because you want to keep bringing new stuff in. But I've said it before: you buy 100, there's 20 that are pretty good, and then there's 80 that you've either got already and or might just sit there for a while. But to get the right price, you got to buy all 100. So, and that was the case with this collection. It was probably 50-50. It was probably worked out pretty well, but. I'm looking forward to watching Rob's mood either go up or go down as we go along here. I'm not sure if we're going to actually be able to see it on his face as the afternoon progresses. But you got to have faith, man. They're going to do okay. They'll be all right. So
They have a 75% chance
That's
of
right.
winning the division today.
Yeah.
So
If there's a chance, there's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance. Now, Chris, do you want my recommendation for a music documentary now or Wednesday?
You can do one now on Wednesday if you like, mate.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, no, okay. Well, that's fine. That just means I have to watch another one. That's okay. Anyway, last night I watched the Lilith Fair one, which I don't know if you can find a lot of. No, it's on YouTube, actually. It's where I watched it. It's also on CBC Gem, but I digress. But yeah, Sarah McLachlan's tour, and from the mid 90s, I think there was 4 years, if I remember correctly. And it's a great documentary. It's good information and some artists that I think some of us all listen to. And it's kind of neat to see the way that all came together. And it's a very positive documentary, which is always a good thing in the world these days. The way the world has gone to a bit of shit, it's kind of nice to watch a good story for the most part. There was some crap that went on, but that's always going to be the case. But I enjoyed it, so I would recommend it. I think it's just, this is Lilith Fair, or I can't remember exactly, but if you look up Lilith Fair, you'll be able to find it. So there you go. That's this recommendation.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. I love the way it's become part of the show.
Something like that anyway. Yeah. I like watching them, so I don't ever mind having to have something to recommend. So
Cool, mate. Right, I will go first then. Let's have a quick look. There you go. Clicked onto my face first time. Brilliant. StreamYard, please behave tonight because I'm not in the mood. So,
just not in the mood.
An album that you didn't get the first time and the second time, and now I absolutely love this album, and I've been bombarding Rob with pictures of this album and this artist, and it's Adam Baldwin. Now, I can't stop listening to this now. I recommend anybody who likes Bruce Springsteen, go and buy this. Don't even think about it. Just buy it. So it's an amazing album. I absolutely love it, start to finish. I cut the grass this evening, and I was up in the shower, and I told my phone to play some music, and Adam Baldwin came up again. So I was like, yeah, listen to it again. Sure, why not? My favorite one on here is number 2, Colliery. I absolutely love that song.
So what's funny is, was it yesterday or the day before, Daryl texted me going, I listened to Adam Baldwin and I love the song number 2, Colliery.
It's funny, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really good album. The first half of the, well, I don't know how it works on the sides, but man, it's really good. I had actually compared them when we were talking with like a modern day Gordon Lightfoot.
Yep, that's what I've said too.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, so this is
in case you wanted to know, Chris, when you open that up and you see that, open up the record.
Yeah,
that road that he's walking on is Causeway Road, which the first song is named after.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it smells like patchouli.
Yeah.
It smells like the sea.
Thinking.
So, I've been
went across that causeway. I think that actually is the causeway. Looks like it.
It does.
That's a true. And that song Causeway Road's actually a true story. In the song, it's about a guy named Danny Fingers, but in real life, the guy's name's Donnie, and he's Adam's neighbor. And everything that happens there, he tried to blow up somebody's boat because they sold his brother a faulty boat, and his brother died in a fishing. All of that is absolutely true. So, not a funny story, but it's a story nonetheless. You know, it's enjoyable.
And the other one that took me 2 spins to listen to it, because I always find when people recommend albums, when you stream it, it's different. When you listen, and then when you actually get the record and sit down and read the lyrics and that kind of thing, it's always different. This also took me 2 spins. This is from Adam Baldwin as well. But I absolutely love this. But my go-to is that album, the Lighthouse one. This is wicked. I was on YouTube. I was actually on YouTube. Liz went to bed last night, and I was like, "Oh, what are we gonna do now?" Then she was fed up of Slow Horses. We'd done like 7 episodes in one night or something, so she was tired. She was like, "I've had enough." So I went on Adam Baldwin's YouTube page, and I was watching the music videos, and he's explaining the music video and the experiences, and I thought that's pretty cool actually. He's taking me behind the scenes, kind of about the music video. So yeah, I thought that was cool. So.
There's one song on there, Lighthouse in Little Lorraine, which that is a picture of. That is the lighthouse in Little Lorraine, except it's not really a lighthouse. It's only like 10 feet tall. But nonetheless, the song on there, Lighthouse in Little Lorraine, is based on a urban legend, I guess you could say, that, back in the 60s or whatever, there were drug runners that were running cocaine from Boston up to Nova Scotia. And they'd be out at sea and they'd dump the boxes overboard and people would be there to pick them up and they'd bring them back to the shore and load them into hearses and this funeral parlor company. Some debate how true that story actually is, but nevertheless, somebody liked the song so much they made a feature-length movie about it that just premiered at TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival, 2 weeks ago. And Adam's actually in it as some minor character. But they've made a feature-length movie about the song Lighthouse in Little Lorraine.
Oh, I'd love to watch that.
I want to see it too. I want to see it too.
Yeah, so that was my... Go on.
So, Chris, I have a question for you. When you first heard that album, did you kind of go, or...
Well, Rob has been banging on about it for months. So I was like... Because me and Rob are in the same kind of music, so I was thinking, well, he can't be talking crap about this. I'll have to check this out. And
I could be full of shit. It's possible.
Well, there could be a could there, but what I was thinking was, well, if he likes it, I'll give it a crack. And it was a case of I put it on, I wasn't really listening to it, and then one day I right. So I'm sitting down, I'm sitting in front of the record player, and I'm going to listen to this from start to finish, and it just absolutely blew me away. And I was like, as soon as I did, I sent a message to Rob, I need more of this. I need more of this. And he was like, well, the other album you picked up, which is Wicked, this one, he said, this is going to be completely different. This is more like an EP version. But
and that's a rock album.
It's amazing. Love it.
That's a rock album.
Well, Rob.
What's that?
Well done, mate. Good
Thanks.
choice. I love it.
Thanks.
Absolutely love it.
Now you just got to get the self-titled EP because that's very, very Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, I did have a look on Bandcamp and they wanted $40 just to ship from Canada to Britain. So, yeah. And for some reason on Bandcamp, I don't know what it is. I wanted to add 2 of his albums and it wouldn't let me add 2 of the albums. It only let me add 1 album and then pay for and do shipping instead of combining 2 or 3 albums and then just paying for the one album. I don't know.
Weird.
So we'll see. See down the road. Right. Okay. Let's go to Richard in the Tap House. See what he's got this evening. Over to you, Rich.
So I've taken kind of a slightly different take on this, and for most of these albums, it was an album that I'm not going to say I couldn't stand, but just did not register with me at all. Put it away, shelved it for a while, sometimes years, and came back to it and went, oh, this is good. Who knew? And this is the big one. The first one is like the biggest one of all of them because it was the first album I thought of when we said we were going to do this. And that's My Bloody Valentine's Loveless, which is the shoegaze album that, a lot of shoegaze albums and groups are kind of compared to often. It's like, well, does it sound like My Bloody Valentine? Yes, no, whatever. I first got this back in probably the early 90s on cassette because I saw the video for Soon on 120 Minutes and I went, wow, that's a pretty cool song. Got the cassette playing, and you know how cassettes, it's really hard to kind of navigate from song to song. You really just play it. And I was like, this is noise. It is annoying. It's shrill. Where are the vocals? And it was just, thing after thing, every other song, I'm just going, this isn't all that great. So for me, the best song was the very last song, which was the song on the video called Soon. So fast forward a few years, many years later, I pick it up on CD. I'll try it again. And still, it was one of those ones, played it, just like, God, I just don't get this. I don't get it at all. Fast forward even further. Finally, I pick it up on vinyl. I don't know what possessed me to pick it up on vinyl, because this is an album that I truly didn't like at all. The more I played it, and it does come with repetition with a lot of these, but this one was one where it became sort of almost ingrained in my psyche that it's an album now I have to play from start to finish. No skipping songs. No, I just want to hear that song. Play the whole damn thing. This album is now my number one album of all time. So go figure.
That's a hell of a come around.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, guitar, woozy effects. This is pretty much what the album sounds like in a lot of ways, because back cover too. It is a lot. It's loaded with reverb. Kevin Shields spent months and months and months working on this and almost bankrupted Creation Records in the process of putting this together because he was taking so long. And he's perfectionist with what he wanted to hear in his head. He wanted to put it on record and succeeded beyond his wildest dreams. It sounds nothing like older My Bloody Valentine. It's a very different animal. And my favorite shoegaze album, full stop. Actually, favorite album, full stop. I was telling Chris Friday, I said if there was one album I would keep and purge the rest of my collection, that would be the one I would keep.
There you go.
Yeah, it's quite weird how music hits you in different times of your life. Obviously, that had to do a couple of years to come around for you to absolutely love it. So it's cool, mate. Yeah.
That, and with some of these others, it's going to be because when I got them at a young age, it wasn't what I was listening to, and now it's something that's more in my wheelhouse. But we'll talk about that.
Cool, mate. Very, very cool. Right.
Yeah, My Bloody Valentine's a funny band. I always thought that they were like the emo music from like 2010s on, and then I realized when you talked about them, yeah, exactly. I didn't realize that they were from like late 80s, early 90s. That time period.
9, and they've been around since about 84, give or take.
Yeah.
A little bit more noisy on some of their earlier albums, but in different ways. They had more song structure. This is more atmosphere and layers of sound loops and reverb. It's a fascinating album to me. It's like the musicianship sets the beat, not the drummer. So there's parts of the song where it's like heavily tremolo guitar work that sets more of the beat for me than the drumming. It's just really interesting album, and it's not for everyone. I know a great many people that are like, I can't listen to that. It's just,
well, after we spoke on Friday and I said, I'm going to give it a stream, I'm going to be honest, it was kind of all over the shop. I was like, right, okay. Maybe this needs another listen.
For me, it's almost like, how you read a book where there's like different chapters, but they cover different topics, but they all flow together. That's what this album does. Cool. As a collective, it sets a mood and a tone, and I can't unlisten to it in another way. I have to read it, listen to it from front to back.
Cool. We got a comment here. Well, I wonder who this could be. Is it 1-0? All right, okay. Can you, Blue Jays, can you just score loads of runs so we make this Rob happy, please? Cool, mate. Good choice. Right, okay. Let's go to Polar Bear Country. Daryl.
Hey, so for my first pick, it's kind of like Richard, but this is more of a, it's not that I didn't just like this album, I didn't like these albums because I just didn't get this band. And it took me well over 2 decades to kind of understand it. I know, Richard, you're familiar with them. I think you like them. Joe, I think you like them. Rob, I think you might be in the middle. We've talked about these guys. And my dad used to really like this band. He used to torture me with it during my teenage angst years, and it wasn't
Say that
until
again,
he
mate.
passed away until 2016 that I took another listen to this band, and it clicked. I finally got it. But I think what it is it has to do with just kind of like for some people, not everybody's going to get these guys. I think it has to do with like the Geddy Rush thing where Geddy Lee of Rush thing where the vocals, and that's Crash Test Dummies. That's Brad Roberts and Crash Test Dummies. So this is the Ghosts That Haunt Me, and then I also have the God Shuffled His Feet album. For whatever reason, like I said, as a teenager, this album here especially, I just didn't understand it. For me, it just sounded too droned out, too monotone. But then I took another listen. The Winter Song, Superman Song. Those are great, fantastic songs. I think they make this album. The art on these albums is amazing. I get it now. But for a long time, 20 plus years, I just didn't understand these guys. And I mean, they only lived, they were recording, I think out of Winnipeg or something like that, if I'm right. Only 6 hours away from where I grew up, right? But when I was 15, 16, if my parents had come up to me and said, "Hey, Daryl, let's go watch a Crash Test Dummies concert," I would have laughed and went, "No way. It's boring," right? That kind of thing. But yeah, I completely get these guys up until about the early 2000s. I think what is it called? The one about the worm's life or something like that. That's about as far as I can go with Crash Test Dummies. And then after that, I'm not too sure. But the first 2 or 3 albums, if you haven't heard Crash Test Dummies, give it a listen. It's not for everyone, but you might grow into it and gain that later.
Cool.
Yeah, I do enjoy them. I don't have either of those albums. I'm not exactly sure why, but that's just they don't come up that much, or at least I haven't seen them in my travels, and I kind of like to find them that way. But yeah, I don't know. They struck me pretty good right from the start. Not a huge fan, but don't dislike them by any means. But then you're right. The art is correct. And it probably does boil down to his voice. That seems to put a lot of people off, maybe, but it also grabs a lot of people. I think it's part of their hook, his voice as well. So
yeah. And Ellen Reed is fantastic on it too, the female vocalist, especially it's not on these albums, but it's on is it Dumb and Dumber where they did Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead?
Yeah.
Movie,
yeah, she sounds great on there. Yeah.
Song. And she makes that song. Yeah.
Cool, mate.
I've got God Shuffled His Feet. I think it's a fantastic record.
Yeah.
So we got Morton here.
Hey, Martin.
What's all this then? Oh, man. Monty Python reference. Yeah, I got it straight away. Which I think the Monty Python film soundtrack is just getting re-released on vinyl. I saw somebody on the YouTube community who's got a record shop, and I can't think now. Riverbend Records. He was showing they coming out, I think, with a Monty Python album. Going back to Crash the Dummies, they're the kind of band I see in a record shop all the time, and I just flick past it and kind of
yeah.
I need to listen. I think to.
I would, if I were you, I would stream it before you buy it.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. Yeah,
I'll give it a go in the car. Going on to Rob's live stream last Wednesday. That's I had work the next day, so I couldn't jump on that one. Sam St. John recommended an album called Tommy Prime, This Far South, on vinyl, and I enjoyed it so much I've ordered it. So
there you go.
Here we go again.
That's how it works.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Yeah, I sent him a message on Instagram. I was like, "Look what you've done." Hope you enjoy it, mate. Was his reply. So, yes. Right, before we get to Joe, 2 secs. 1-1. Yes. Okay, Rob is happy. Right. Okay, Joe. The floor's yours.
Don't they have 2 guys on base and none out?
They do.
Yeah. So it's good.
Yep.
It's good. Look, he's smiling. I like it. With the store and then with doing the pop-ups and that before, a lot of the times, in fact, almost all the times, if I didn't like a record, I just sold it. that's not necessarily the case with you guys. You guys didn't do that, I don't think, to a certain extent anyway. Not to the extent or the level that I used to do it, a couple times a year, take them all and sell them, and then now at the store. So I really don't have, like when Chris said, "Are you available?" I said yes, and then he told me the topic. It's like, man, I don't know. I don't have a lot of that. I'm sure. I also didn't give myself a lot of time to think about it, but I'm sure I could probably come up with a couple, and there might be a couple in the stack. But anyway, so I don't have a lot of specifically and the pinpoint of what we're doing today, and I did a video on this a while ago, and this is kind of the route I'm going to go, is bands that I didn't quite catch on to the first time, and then eventually either I grew up or something, or they did something later in their career that made me become a fan. And this one, I don't know. This I still don't know exactly why this one took me any longer than hearing Sultans of Swing to like. But Dire Straits, I don't know why. They just didn't grab me at first. And maybe I literally took, the lyric of we don't want to listen to no trumpet playing band. I'm not sure what it was. So this was out in what, 78. So I was 13 at the time, and listening to Kiss and all of that stuff. So yeah, these guys just didn't grab me. And then obviously at some point, and it might have been Brothers in Arms, I'm not sure why exactly that one, but it might have been the videos, it might have been other things. And it was like, oh man, you know what? That guy can play guitar, which he always could play guitar. But then I've certainly listened to the lyrics more, and I certainly listened to them more. And they are one of my go-tos now. So not to the extreme of Richard, where it went from what is this to, man, this is my favorite album, but they are certainly in my, I don't know, today's top 10 favorite bands, which they weren't to start with. And again, I'm not exactly sure why, because I wasn't a complete idiot. I was an idiot, but not a complete idiot back in the day. So it took me a while, but I came around, and there's my first choice for this afternoon.
I have to agree with you on that one, Joe. It took me a very long time to get Dire Straits. Probably because my dad listened to it nonstop, and you kind of go, I don't know if I can listen to this again. And then as I started collecting vinyl again just after lockdown, I saw Dire Straits come up on Apple Music with me, and I was like, okay, what's this all about? Just sit down and listen to this. And I enjoyed it so much, I bought the greatest hits.
Yeah. Good. But yeah, I mean, this album is unbelievably great, but Romeo and Juliet and again, Brothers in Arms, but even Love Over Gold, it's not like, they had the big monster. We talk about that from time to time, where they have the big monster, and then the next one is a little tougher to do. Yeah. But Love Over Gold's still a pretty damn solid album. But Richard, it looks like maybe they were the same for you a little bit.
Oh, very much so. They were, well, and Joe and I are close in age and close in our musical upbringing too, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But I had heard Dire Straits, and I went, "Oh, this is good. They're good musicians. I'm not interested." And even to this day, I think I only have like 2, maybe, Dire Straits albums, and that's good. That's good for me.
Yeah, seeing them live, I think, helped too. And I didn't see them till Brothers in Arms, and so I don't know. Maybe I just blame it all on Brothers in Arms. Maybe that's it.
I'd love to see Mark Knopfler live, an acoustic kind of set that he does sometimes. He comes to London and Birmingham and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think, and I've seen clips on YouTube of him sitting down, and it's a songwriter's kind of acoustic session where he'll say, "This is how I came up with this riff," or like, "This is how I came up with this riff," and it's But I understand where you're coming from. It took me a long time. Yeah. But yeah, cool, mate. Good choice there. Well done, Joe.
Thanks.
Right. Okay. Let's go to Mr. Sunshine himself.
He's happy right now.
Well, 1-1, so we're happy for the moment. All right. This one is going to be kind of, people are going to go, what the fuck is this guy talking about? This is a band I love, and I was sort of my gateway into music, and I loved everything they had put out. But there was one album of theirs in particular that I did not get at all. The White Album by the Beatles.
Oh, really?
For a long time. The first time that I heard Sgt. Pepper, I was blown away. And I loved Abbey Road. I loved everything they put up, but I just did not get the White Album for probably a year or two. And I remember when I was in my, I think, first year of university, on our spring reading week, my girlfriend and I went to Europe because her dad lived over there. And so we went over there to visit him, and he was a big Beatles fan. And his name's Rob, so he's a pretty smart guy. We were in Switzerland, and, we were driving through the Alps going somewhere in France. And he and I were talking about the Beatles, and the White Album was on, and I was just going on about how I didn't get it and how it, to me, sort of felt kind of like a hodgepodge. It was kind of disjointed, and it was long and drawn out. And he's explained to me why I'm not understanding it. And I don't know what it was about this sort of epiphanous moment, but not the first time I'd heard it. I'd heard it 3 or 4 or 5 times, and just like, what is that, man? But this one particular time, I don't know why, the song "Your Blues" came on, and all of a sudden it was like a light bulb. I'm like, oh, I get it. I get it now. It's brilliant. It's not too long, and it's there's something fairly simplistic about it, but there's also something beautiful in how it is kind of a patchwork rather than something that is a little more homogenous like some of their other stuff was. So, I'm not being very articulate about it, but, they were at a certain part in their career where they were, starting to fracture and each kind of still going their own way, or starting to kind of go their own way. And they still put together a collection of songs that sort of more represented themselves rather than the group. And there was just something beautiful about it. And I got it. And it's one of my favorite albums of all time. So
Cool.
Stupid me at, 15 years old didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
We still had a lot of hormones in our system when we were back in the day. So, our brains weren't exactly always working. They didn't have full blood supply. But
Right.
no, you're explaining it well, because you go from number 9 to Rocky Raccoon to back in the USSR to
Right.
yeah. So I don't think you're alone. You might not be alone in here, but anywhere, with that being the album that maybe Beatles fans took the longest to go, oh shit, right? Okay, I get it. Maybe. But
Yep. And I wouldn't change. I mean, I don't really like Revolution number 9, but it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
I generally skip that one, to be quite honest. But
yeah.
there's not a note I would change about it now. It's beautiful in what it is, and one of the greatest albums ever made.
So are you going to get the anthology number 4? Because I know you said you want to
Yeah.
get the box. Are you going to get the number 4?
Yeah, I mean, I have to have everything else. I still think it's horribly disappointing, but I will buy it.
Because you were saying when you were ranking like the Beatles stuff, and you were like, I'm not going to get this because I don't need the whole box set. And then 2 weeks later, they go, oh, anthology number 4 is coming out. And I was like, I think he's gonna get it.
5-1 Toronto. Yeah!
Grand Slam, wasn't it?
Thanks, Morton.
I think.
I'm just keeping in check on the screen. Thanks, Morton. Woo! Okay. I don't even know what you were saying, Chris. Yes, I'm going to buy anthology.
I stopped listening a while ago, Chris, but that's okay.
Fine, mate. Yeah, I'm just letting Rob have his moment and let's go. Okay.
I think it was the Grand Slam, because I'm kind of watching just on a ticker thing, and it looked like the bases were loaded.
They
and it was
were
1-1
loaded,
at that point. So yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Boz. Hey, mate. How's it going? You all right?
Boz.
Yeah, I hope Cam got a lot of new followers for being on last week, because he was very good. Not to sidetrack Squirrel here, but he was good.
He sent me a message and he was like, mate, I loved that. I want to do it again. And I was like, yep, no worries at all.
Good.
So I'll try and get him on maybe October time. So, yeah.
Good.
Right.
My journey with the White Album has been similar but dissimilar. I went through that kind of period where, Beatles, and I was doing, Kiss and AC/DC and all that stuff, and I wasn't paying any attention to what was going on in Beatle world. And, once I think I had the White Album, I just never played it. It's just like part of You know, the essential collection of things you buy when you're collecting records. You buy the Beatles White Album. And I just had it and just hardly ever played it. And then finally started getting into it. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is good. There's still kind of a division line between what I really like with Beatles and what's kind of like, yeah, I don't need to hear that
Yeah,
anymore.
it is very, very cool.
If you haven't heard it and you like the White Album at all, listen to the Esher demos that were released as part of the anniversary issue, because the Esher demos, which is basically like called the White Album Unplugged. Oh,
That was stunning.
So
I was
good.
so happy when that came out. I was like,
Me
oh
too.
my God, yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
that. We had that come through the store. Part of that big collection. It was like the box set version, right? And it was the second album of the two. And I didn't keep it for myself. I sold it like a good shop owner should, I suppose. But I didn't keep that one, so I should have. But anyway, I digress.
So more than saying, I'm on the ticket too. I lapsed my MLB TV subscription, regretting it, but I really stayed up after midnight anyhow.
Makes
So
sense.
different time zones.
A little bit.
Okay, cool. Right. Let's go back to me then. Now, before Rob starts screaming at his mobile phone, it's quick. So, a band that were big in the late 90s and kind of went off on the 2000s, and they came back this year with an album. And it is Pulp. This has taken me more than 2 listens, if I'm being honest. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's one of them albums. One day I really like it. The other day I'm like, eh. So I'm kind of in between this one. But I put it on today and I liked it. So today's a good day. So yeah, this one is called More. And the big one on here was Spike Island. I don't know if Joe is familiar with Pulp.
I'm familiar with Common People. That's it. And I don't even have, again, that's another album I should have that I want, but that's about it, to be honest, for my Pulp. But I think I probably would have been a little more into them had I been where you are. It's not that there wasn't exposure here, there just wasn't a lot of exposure. And I do really like their sound, but is that back to earlier days or no?
I talked to Rich about this. I'd put it back to probably top 3 for me.
Yeah.
Pub albums. There's some filler on it sometimes, I find, but I'm enjoying it at the moment. So we'll see. What did Morton say here? You and me both, Chris. I grew up on Me, but at first it was very. Waited 24 years. The Welsh accent. Yeah, so it took a while.
They look like they put on a good show. I mean, from some clips that I've seen. And, there's some bands where they do have one big hit, which unfortunately, at least in North America, really it was Common People. There was maybe a little bit more buzz. But what's nice to see is when they do play it, they still seem to give a shit about it. Because some bands will just write off that single hit for them and just go, okay, we know we got to play it fast, get her done, and away they go. But they still seem to enjoy playing that, at least from the video clips that I've seen. That's cool.
It's on like a marble kind of vinyl. So yeah.
See, for me, Pulp kind of fits into the same category as the Verve for me. The Verve is like that for me, where they were a little bit bigger here in Canada than Pulp was, but it's just hard to get into. Lots of listens before you can get into it and understand it.
Cool.
Yeah, I probably agree 100% on that, and I'm not even positive that I still get into the Verve. I guess it's just that the one song, obviously, again, was kind of they weren't one-hit wonders, but in North America they were, and so we just get that one song. Maybe if I heard more, but yeah.
Cool.
That's like,
Um,
I have a handful of Pulp albums. I can't tell you the last time I listened to them. So they
Yeah.
would be, I was actually hoping to pick up more because, people have been a kind of a polar view on it. It's like some people are like, and most people said it was one of those albums that with repeated listens,
yeah,
it delivers. And so
why
I
it's
just haven't
called
got there
more.
yet.
yeah. Boz is saying I like Pulp more, but it's the only album of theirs I have heard. Yeah, probably because I tell you why I picked that one up. That was a blind buy for me because went to the record shop and Richard, who's got the record shop, went, "Oh, Chris, you might like this. Yeah, just get the hook in now and start wheeling me in then." And he said, "Yeah, give it a listen. See, come back to me, see what you think." And I said, I'm not sure about this. And he went, "Yeah, I don't like it either, to be honest. I just thought you might like it."
I just wanted to sell it to you, and I thought you might like it. So here you go. Yeah.
Yeah. He's still got copies in the shop. He still haven't sold. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's cool. Right. Okay. I'm going to Richard now, I think. Goes through the comments. There you go. Back to the Tap House.
Awesome. Okay, Joe's gonna love this one or hate it. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. 1970, might have been 78, 79, one of those years. Anyway, Kiss decided that they, in their infinite wisdom, they would release 4 solo albums. Now he knows where I'm going.
I do. Kind of.
And I remember I was excited for this. I was not excited for it from a financial perspective because I could only pick up about like one every 2 weeks, give or take. So I started off with the Gene Simmons album because I was a huge Gene guy at the time. Not so much anymore. Good album. Okay, fine. Which one should I get next? I'll get Paul's album. Like Paul, I was, yeah, it's okay. Okay, I'll get Ace's. I'll save Peter's for last. I'll get Ace's album. Ace's album, of course, blew me away because I was like, oh my God, this is what I wanted Ace Frehley to be doing with Kiss forever. And it's still his best solo album in my opinion. But then there was this outlier called the Peter Criss solo album. I'm not going to say it was universally panned, but given what is on here for the time it was and for the band that he was in, it was not what people probably wanted to hear. So it's a very not low. Well, yeah, there are some low key songs on here, but there are, it's more blues based and it kind of, it's throwbacks to earlier times of, Don't Bring Me Down. It's kind of a downer, if you will. But no, that's the kind of sugar Papa likes. People are like, huh? I'm Gonna Love You. I like the opener. You Matter to Me is okay. Tossin' and Turnin's a banger, and that's that kind of old-timey feel to it. Easy Thing's a ballad. Rock Me Baby. Kiss the Girl Goodbye. It's a sleeper, but lyrically it's really good. Hooked on Rock and Roll and I Can't Stop the Rain. Vocally, it's stunning, and Peter Criss is actually pretty good. Has that bluesy, gravelly voice. Loved it, and I liked it when it first came out. But I was like, this is not. It's not going to be the one I'm going to come back to very often. This is now the one I come back to way more often. And interestingly, I have a lot of the original.
Oh, you got the poster.
I had the poster. All the posters are gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, the posters are gone, but I do have, and I pulled it out earlier. Where the hell did it go? There it is.
Oh, yeah. Order sheet.
Yeah, guess how much those t-shirts are?
Yeah, I don't know.
$5.
Yeah. I had that I had that belt buckle. I had the belt buckle and I had Ace's belt buckle as well. So
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
They might still have them. They might be in a box, but
I was more I give Kiss credit for one thing as far as like merchandising and giving you bang for your buck. When you bought an album, you got posters, you got the Love Gun thing, you got stickers and tattoos and all kinds of crap. So, from a marketing perspective, it's like you're not just getting the music, you're getting a bunch of other crap too, which is great. But this my rank order for Kiss solo albums now is Ace number 1, Paul number 2, Peter number 3, and Gene number 4. Because Gene's is so all over the map that I just don't care for it.
They all did their albums in their somewhat personalities or their tastes, right? So
True.
And as a youngster at that point, much like yourself, that didn't resonate. The Peter stuff didn't resonate. Ace again was great. Gene just kept on talking about girls, and that was it. And Paul's was kind of the most Kiss album ish kind
Agreed.
of. But yeah, Peter's is good. It is certainly the most diverse, and it's the most far away from the band. And I'm just repeating shit you just said, so I'll just shut the heck up. But I guess the thing is, I agree completely with what you're saying. So yeah.
Right, let's go through the comments real quick. Okay, so Morton is saying, I'm so excited for the deluxe different class that's coming out. Now, Joe, that's the one with common people in it.
Yeah. So
that's the one. Can I soon held off get on vinyl like an older 1 LP version. Mind too short, an album for 2 LPs. Yeah. Let's have a quick look. And Boz is saying, Peter Criss was the first solo album I picked up today. It's my favorite of the 4 solo albums and still matters to me. And then more than, oh God, stop clicking. Peter Criss' solo album was a bit like Ringo's first solo album. I did it for me.
Did it for me, mom.
Yeah. Did it for me, mom. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a very good way of putting it for sure. So
and Boz is saying, best to last, Peter, Ace, Gene, and Paul never really cared for Paul's solo.
To each their own.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you could ask 100 people in the rankings, you might get a couple the same, but yeah. So
what's your favorite? Yeah. What's your favorite Bruce Springsteen album?
Darkness on the Edge of Town. I'll give you that one. I can say which one of that is. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Yeah. Okay. Where is he? Can't click on him. Darryl!
Made it. All right, so Chris, you talked about blind buys. Your last one was a blind buy. This one was a blind buy for me too, mainly because the big hit that's off of it is from probably one of the most epic movies of the 1980s, I would think. And I think the reason that I was excited, I saw this, I was like, yes, this song, I really like this. It's from the movie. It's from the soundtrack. The soundtrack's really hard to get. But this album is kind of, if you struggle with elements of synth pop and toned down industrial, the fact that they're from down under and you might not have heard of them, this one's a little bit challenging. But as soon as I listened to this album 2 or 3 times, it finally clicked to me because I do like synth pop and I definitely like industrial, but it's not like Ministry or Skinny Puppy industrial. This is pretty toned down. And that's Big Pig's Bonk album. And this has the song I Can't Break Away on it, which is from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which is one of my favorite 80s movies of all time. But it's just, if you've never heard this album before, I think what it boils down to is that it's just weird. It's weird stuff. But I finally get it. The song, the first track there, Iron Lung, is really good. Tin Drum is really good. Big Hotel is really good, but I Can't Break Away is a fantastic song. And then to go further into, I guess, the deep cuts on this, you'd have to go into side 2. So if you really want to check this out, I would listen to the songs on side 1 first. But it's really strange stuff. I think is probably for me why this one didn't click right away. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this album or not. But if you like synth pop and you like industrial and that kind of thing, kind of a combination, and maybe some, I guess, late 80s pop music, you might like this. But once again, this is a tough one. This really is a tough one, but I got it after a few plays and I can listen to this all day long now, but like the Crash Test Dummies that I talked about earlier. It's not going to be for everyone, but check it out. Plus, they've got, to me, one of the weirdest, coolest names of all time, Big Pig. Don't know where they ever came up with that name for a band, but there you go. So I don't show that one too often, but there we go.
Yeah, Breakaway's fantastic. Obviously, that's the big one on there, but just the drums in that alone. So imagine back in the day, because that's when I was DJing. So I would put that on. So you're a couple drinks in, and it's the club, and it's cranked up, and the drums in that. It sounded really, really good. It was always something that worked for sure. So
that one song that I was talking about, the first one, Iron Lung, has like big time bass drum in it. That's it almost sounds like a machine, like an industrial machine. It's pretty neat, but not going to be for everyone.
You've got to love the Australians, haven't you? Some of the names they come up with. That's like, I'm sure they're at the bar going, do you know what, lads? That's an idea.
I think the other one that gets me, it's not that it's a weird name, it's just a weird combination, is Cold Chisel. But Cold Chisel's a really good band. It's just a weird name.
I agree with both of those statements. Cold Chisel's awesome. I like them. I wish I had some more. So,
and here we are. My other half likes it, Daryl. So well done.
I've noticed that whenever someone says it's not for everyone, it's probably something I will love.
It's probably something for Richard. Yeah. So if he hears the term, it's not for everyone. Oh, I'll listen to that. That's good.
Write that down on my list.
Daryl might have this, or Joe. So, do you guys have any 1980s vinyl soundtrack whale? Mine's Better Off Dead. Have you got any?
That's a hard one to find.
Yeah, that is. Look at that. Thrown away a perfectly good white boy. That's a great movie. I love that movie. Where's my $2?
I want my
$2. Yeah. I don't know. I thankfully I've found a couple. Like, for me, not that it's the question, but one of my favorite soundtracks of that ilk is The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys, speaking of Jimmy Barnes and stuff, and In Excess, is really, really good. But I don't know if there's one out there that I am still searching for. Maybe Cocktail. No, I'm just kidding. Not Cocktail.
Need Grease.
Well, the Bill and Ted one.
Grease 2. Yeah, Grease 2.
Grease 2. Everybody get Grease 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
No, the Bill and Ted one, though, I'm trying. I normally don't collect 45s, but there's a song on it called In Time by Robbie Robb, and it's the only song he ever did. You can only find it on 45 or on the soundtrack, and trying to find the soundtrack for Bill and Ted that's tough.
Just be excellent to each other. That's all we ask. Be excellent to each other.
Boz said The Last American Virgin is a grail. Got it a few years ago, finally.
Yeah, there's lots. I mean, obviously soundtracks they're still a thing, but they were pretty huge for like all the John Hughes stuff and all of that. So, yeah.
Plus, they introduce people to bands they wouldn't otherwise probably pick up. Yeah. I'm thinking like, the Breakfast Club soundtrack. I still have my original, and I'll go back. It's like, oh, I didn't know that band was on that because I wasn't listening to them at that time or whatever.
Yeah,
but
no,
Footloose. Exactly. Footloose is another one that's fun.
The only two soundtracks I've got is Iron Man 2, which is AC/DC.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Rob's favorite film of all time, which is Top Gun. So,
Rob does own one of the greatest soundtracks with one of the greatest pop songs on it. And
Grease 2.
Yeah, okay, so you own two then, because the other one was that thing you do. So,
which is awesome.
Yes. It is.
But it doesn't have Michelle Pfeiffer singing a sexy song on a stepladder.
No, but you can bring her up on your phone and just look at her while you're listening to it.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I've got a rare one. It's called Pinky and Perky's Christmas Duets.
I'm familiar with that one. So,
right. Anyway, bring us back, Joe.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm bringing us back or not, but here's one that this falls into the category of, I don't know if we all try and talk ourselves into getting albums, but I enjoy it. and I've enjoyed it more as I've listened to it. But to be honest, it was a pickup because, oh man, you got to have this album. So I don't know how many of those there are, but there's a few, and this for me fell into that category. But it's certainly a mood. It's certainly a time of day type of thing as well. But I'm not I'm a psych fan to a certain extent, and this is psychedelic. And if you look up the word psychedelic music in the dictionary, it might be this album cover. But so yeah, I enjoy it, but it definitely took me a little bit. And to be honest, I bought it solely based on the fact that, well, everybody has that album. So, but then it grew on me a little bit. So it falls into that category. There's a couple like that, and I'm not sure if more will come up or not, but that falls into that category where I hadn't heard any of it. I knew it was a genre that I was a little familiar with and enjoyed a little bit, but not a whole bunch. And then it's like, well, I got to have that. Everybody else has that. Not everybody else, but so many have that. But and it's growing on me. It hasn't fully grown on me, but it's growing on me. So.
So Rob is
there's a psych one that might be coming up on mine too for very similar reasons, Joe. Well, we'll get to it when we get there if we have time. But
yeah,
I think a lot of those psych albums, you see a lot of channels in the VC right now, and they're all talking about psych, and these are like really rare, and you got to check them out. And then you check them out, and you're like, this really is weird.
Yeah,
it's a whole other realm of psych.
Yeah, it might not be for everybody. That's why Richard was smiling when I showed this one, right?
So a Grease 2 reissue. I need that.
Well,
do you know what? If it does come out, Rob, just for you, I will get it. Right?
Well, hold on. If you go up 2 comments, Boz says he's got one. He has one on purple vinyl. I'm like, well, shit, I got to track that down.
They did that, did they? Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Mondo did it. So,
well,
I know what I'm looking for later. You can't have enough Cool Rider.
Right. Okay. Let's go. It's not working. Why is this not working?
Because if it worked every time, you guys would have nothing to complain about.
Exactly.
Sorry. Is it my turn? You got distracted there because the Gosman's loaded the bases and there's only one out, so this is concerning. Okay, I'll try to focus. Carrying on from my previous one, where it's a band I really love and an album by them that took some time. This is another one. Music from Big Pink by the band. I'm a huge fan of the band. And this was their last of their albums for me to come around to. And honestly, I still don't prefer it to some others. Damn it. It's 5-3. Shit. What was I talking about now?
You were talking about Big Pink. There you go.
So this is their first album. This is kind of universally heralded as, their greatest album and, whatever. I think for me, the Bob Dylan influence is what sort of taints this, because I'm no secret of the fact that I can't stand Bob Dylan, and I've used many a colorful metaphor to describe what I think of Bob Dylan. He painted this cover artwork, which looks like something my kid did in kindergarten. And he co-wrote a lot of the songs in here, and it took a long time for me to really get into this. The second album, the Brown Album, I think is vastly superior to this. Stage Fright, which was the album that came after that, I thought was better than this. It took me a really long time to put this into my sort of rotation of stuff that I listen to from the band, and it doesn't get listened to nearly as much as some of the other stuff. That's not to say that there aren't some incredible songs in here, because there are some incredible songs on here, but it just it lacks that thing that grabs my attention. So I still enjoy it because of some of the big monster songs that are on here, but it took me a long time to come around to that album.
I still love that one, the Cahoots. That's the kind of one I go back
Cahoots
to.
Is great.
The band album.
Yeah,
that's an absolute stomper.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Wait, you got me into them.
My bad.
Right. Last week's guest, Trevor. Taking a break from Sunday chores. Hello, gentlemen. Hello, Trevor. So, yeah. Okay, we will keep it going. It is my turn next. So, a band that got shown on Alex Beer and Vinyl channel that I'd heard of them, but I didn't really listen to them, if that makes sense. And then, okay, right, he's happy, good, right. So, and it's the band Wilco, and this is AM.
Yes.
This is a Rhino release that I picked up. This was my first. Well, I ordered this months ago and it got cancelled. I had to reorder it anyway. I've got it now and I love it. So from start to finish, brilliant album. I'm gonna try and get into Wilco going forward. But yeah, did they do a song with Billy Strings? Was it Billy Strings or was Billy something? I can't think anyway.
They did three. They did 3 albums with Billy Bragg.
Billy Bragg, California Star, was it?
That's an amazing song from the first Mermaid Avenue album. Really good.
So I ordered this from Rhino. So there's I know it's the Lord to show the inside. So there you go. And this out of 5,000, this is 4,812. So not that mattered to me. I just wanted to get it, and I saw it on Rhino, and I was like, this was actually cheaper to get this from Rhino and get it shipped over. It cost me £40 in total, and Amazon wanted £50 from the UK. So work that shit out. So, but yeah, brilliant album.
So, Chris, you and I talked about this Friday a little bit, and I was saying that some of these bands kind of all blur together. So the Weens, the Wilcos, the Weezers, the whatever, all these it's like I can't tell how would you define Wilco's sound for somebody who's never heard much of anything from them?
I'd say it sounds like something from the late 90s. Something that when MTV were doing Unplugged, it reminds me of kind of like that kind of music. I can't think of any of the bands off the top of my head that remind me of Wilco. They remind me of other bands' songs put into one album, if that makes any sense at all. When I listened to it, I went, I think I know this. It sounds familiar in my brain, but I've never listened to this album before I bought it. So took me 2 listens on streaming. But then as soon as I listened to it, I was like, yeah, I got to get this. I've absolutely got to get this. And it goes on at least once a week, once every other week, something like that. So, yeah, I love it.
Do you know, Richard, do you know Uncle Tupelo?
I love Uncle Tupelo. You know I love Uncle Tupelo.
Okay, well, half of Uncle Tupelo is Wilco.
Okay, that I knew.
So the first, that one, and then you get into Being There and Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. That first early Wilco period really does, you can tell they came from Uncle Tupelo. So if you like that, carry on with those. And the 3 that they did with Billy Bragg are really, really good. And then they started to get a little more late 90s, a little more of an alternative tinge to it and a little less of that sort of alt country rock kind of thing. And they got a little more abstract. And there's some of their 2000 stuff I can't do. But the first, half a dozen are really, really good. So if you like Tupelo, you're fine for the first, 4, 5, 6 Wilco records.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm not going to become a completist or anything, I don't think. But
yeah, you say that now.
Yeah,
I know. Well, I have
so,
Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and I can't remember the last time I played it. So
it's
Since
good. I sort of tap out after, I think Sky Blue Sky, I think was the last one. I kind of went, okay, I'm good here.
Since I picked that up, I've noticed that in record shops, and I've noticed a lot of Wilco box sets. I've noticed them more, but I've noticed the price as well. I was like, right, that's not happening. I'll wait for an Amazon price drop, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, cool. Right, okay. Let's go to Richard next.
Hi, Trevor. By the way, I didn't say hi.
Everybody say hi, Trevor. Hi, Trevor.
Hi, Trevor.
Now, kind of piggybacking off Joe's psych thing a little bit. In the 70s, I was massively into Jefferson Starship. And I loved all the singles that were pumping out in the 80s. And it was Jane came out and Find Your Way Back. And, some of the earlier ones, Runaway. There was like a whole run of albums that had really strong hits from Jefferson Starship. But I knew full well that Jefferson Airplane existed over here in the 60s, into the 70s, I believe. And everybody was always on about Surrealistic Pillow as, oh gosh, the best Jefferson Airplane album. And now, of course, I knew the big songs on here, White Rabbit and Somebody to Love. Okay, so, and it's also how I got into liking Grace Slick as a vocalist a lot. But as an album as a whole, it took me years to really appreciate this thing as a whole. It was always, oh yeah, that's the album with Somebody to Love and White Rabbit. And the rest of it was just there. But the more you listen to it, the more you realize, who is in the studio playing with these people when they were recording this. And you have, Dave Crosby, you have these very, Dave Crosby harmonies going on in some of the backgrounds of the songs and it just creates such a feel for what this era was. And so this has become more of a fast favorite. It's a much later pressing, but who cares? It sounds fine. Picked it up used for nothing. I will give, Jefferson Airplane, I give them, credit for having great music, but some of their album covers absolutely suck.
Yeah.
Like, what were you thinking? That was not, obviously the priority. But I've come to appreciate more of Jefferson Airplane, and they're one of those bands that I have picked up a handful of their albums. I have The Worst of Jefferson Airplane and Airplane Takes Off and After Bathing in Baxter's. And if I have them on CD because they were cheap, and that's fine. I don't need to go out and get, MoFi copies of Airplane stuff. But I have a much better appreciation for Jefferson Airplane than I ever did. And for years, I did not. I was just like, oh, that trippy
Man, Rob, the way that Richard started this all off, I thought he was going to talk about Knee Deep in the Hoopla. That's the one I thought he was going with.
I was hoping.
I pulled that out.
He wasn't. Actually,
I pulled that out and I went, no, I still hate this album. That one might show up on Wednesday. Just saying.
You're right, though, Jane, all that stuff, and yeah, it is really good. But I don't. Yeah. Anyway, that's a different topic. We already did that topic, but
Tampa
scores again, 5-4. Oof. Okay.
Yeah, but he got out of the inning. It's done. So
right, okay.
Yeah, but that 3-run lead we had, 4-run lead we had is gone.
Yeah.
But the Yankees are still losing. So
they are. Yeah, they are.
Right.
Good choice, though, Richard. Good choice.
Thank you.
It is a good choice.
I almost pulled it too, Richard, for the same reasons.
Yeah.
It just took a while. It took a long while.
And as much as I think I always liked Somebody to Love, I disliked White Rabbit. I don't know why, but then it changed. So
White Rabbit for me is just such an out there song. It's like, here's the body of work of Jefferson Airplane, and White Rabbit just kind of hangs over here on a different level. It
is a really weird song, eh?
It's just short. It's like 2.5 minutes long, but it's really freaking trippy.
Maybe none of us did enough drugs to appreciate White Rabbit at the time. Maybe that's it. I think it would help. I guess maybe not.
Yeah, really. Moral of the story: do drugs.
Kids? No, wait, no.
Not that I am advertising on my channel at all. Do drugs. I've just put in a thing out there.
Especially Tylenol.
Yes.
I put my Tylenol away for now. Yeah, that's right.
And if you can say acetaminophen, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Well, ahead of somebody in particular. Aren't we
Anyway.
all?
Yeah. Trevor's saying, thankfully, my Tigers are bouncing back. Okay. I may have misspelled it, but yeah, okay, mate. I just brushed over very quickly. Right, okay. Come on, Mr. Polar Bear. Let's rock and roll, mate.
Okay. Let's rock and roll. So here's what we're gonna do, because Richard is live. He's not allowed to keep score. This is Rob's
Yeah,
keeping
right.
score.
When he's live, no scorekeeping. Yeah.
So I don't know if Rob is going this way. I don't know if he's got a band that we're not going to name right now. But I'm going with my
I
favorite.
thought about it, but I didn't go there.
I'm going with my favorite Canadian band, but I think what it is for me, I really like this EP now. Like it's grown on me a lot, but I think we see this with a lot of bands. I think Don Henley as a solo artist is kind of like this, where he has an album from 88, 89, and then it's like 2016 before he releases his next solo album.
And
I think this is my case with Glass Tiger. Is there was a huge hiatus between Simple Mission in 1990-91 and this EP, which is 33, which I bought off their website, and it is signed by all the members of the band. But I think that there's seven tracks on here, or 9 tracks. No, there's 6 tracks. And for those of you that like nice, I don't know if you can see it, it's nice red color.
Yeah.
Vinyl. But I mean, Alan Frew, the lead singer of the band, I mean, he was going through all kinds of health problems, vocal problems. I think it was 2 to 3 years prior to the release of this album, if not longer. So it took him a little while to get his vocal range back. So when I bought this, I was cautiously optimistic about what this was going to sound like. And at first I was like, man, this is not like their first 3 albums. But then I had to take a step back and go, listen, this is 20 plus years since they've recorded either an EP or a full album, right? A lot of their other stuff that they'd released between was greatest hit stuff and whatnot. I love the the autographs, but they do a couple of really good songs on here. Originals. This Is Your Love is a really good one. The Keepers of Time is a really fantastic track. But for me, it just, like I said, this EP took me a little while to kind of get into, because the gap between this and their previous last studio album was over 20 years. So I think that's what we, as bands get older, I mean, a lot of people, they say this about bands like the Rolling Stones too, right? Where you listen to their 60s and 70s stuff and then you go, whoa, they just released Hackney Diamonds 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Some people just don't like that vocal range, because you're not gonna keep your vocal range over 60 years. And I mean, I think one of the classic cases of this to me has got to be Axl Rose. I mean, he needs to retire. His vocal range is just awful.
Yep.
But I think in the case of Glass Tiger, I think Alan Frew, that this might be one of their last hurrahs. I can't see Glass Tiger recording too many more albums out of this. I just think that there's a distinct difference between the two eras of the band.
Hey, Rob, have you done a live stream on how artists or bands should just give up now? Have you done one of them yet?
We should. We haven't, but we should.
Yes,
Time to hang it up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm giving him ideas from my channel. What's going on here, Rich?
Well, before you, because you were late and the 4 of us were chatting, we already came up with our topic for Wednesday.
Yeah, we got Wednesday decided on already. So yeah,
we're elaborating on this idea. You came up with albums that took a couple listens, and I said I found a bunch of records that I still don't like.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about on Wednesday.
Cool.
We'll give you credit for it in the intro, though.
I'm sure we will.
Full subtitle.
Yeah, that imbecile from Wales gave us an idea.
Executive produced by Chris, man.
Executive producer.
Yeah,
Based on an idea presented by,
that's
Yeah.
right.
Just the greatest hits.
Yeah, yeah.
If nobody's seen that video, the Rob Dylan greatest hits, go and watch it. It's fucking funny as shit. Right, okay. What's that? Morton saying David Lee Roth's.
oh God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I'm not sure if folks heard you. I heard you, Richard, say Vince Neil. Vince, shouldn't have been taking people's money for a long time already. So, yeah. And then the opposite of that, there are a lot of artists that, to Daryl's point, don't sound the same, but still sound good.
True.
Right? Yeah. So there is that. Definitely.
Cool. Right. Trying to go through the chat really quick. How about records I can't listen to, like stuff my wife hates and she's always home, so it's difficult to use.
I did that a couple of years ago.
Headphones,
My wife
man.
records that I hate. Yep.
Records that my wife hates. Yeah.
Yeah,
Headphones.
I heard this as well. Did he have a stroke the other day? Vince Neil?
Yeah. Who knows?
In.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He probably
Right.
doesn't even know if he had a stroke.
No, that's true. That's true.
Right. Okay. Let's come on, Joe. Where you go, mate?
All right, here we go. So back to the category of artists that I had kind of written off at the beginning and now have come around to is how I'm going at today a little bit, although that last one didn't necessarily fall into that. And Daryl so wonderfully has a lot of posters of this gentleman up behind him, and it's Eminem. I am not arguably I'm a small rap hip hop fan. I appreciate it. I understand it. I just don't listen to a lot of it. And this guy is one that I didn't listen to a lot of for a lot of reasons. I didn't listen to it because it was the style that I didn't necessarily listen to. He's a bit of an asshole. I think he's less of an asshole now. So I'm not sure if that was you, Richard, laughing or not, but it sounds like maybe you agree with me. I'm not sure. He's kind of come around a little bit. He's grown up to a certain extent, I think, has made a difference. And then I picked this one because I actually have a couple. So I picked this one just for you, Chris, because it is, as you can see, it is the hits.
Yes, mate. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Gatefold Soul will show it. But yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not a huge fan, but I can actually put some Eminem on now and enjoy it for what it is. Again, whether he's an asshole still or not, I don't know, but we've talked about that before as well, where sometimes we separate the music from the guy. This is on the border of that, though. This is on the fringe of that, because I was never a big fan of the music to begin with and never a big fan of the guy, and then I've come around, I guess, a little, at least on the music. I'm not sure on the guy, but he hasn't done anything super stupid for a while, so kind of keeping his nose clean.
I tend to say this every live stream I do, but there's always kind of an artist or band I'm quite happy with just having the greatest hits. And I think Eminem would probably fit in that category for me if I was going to pick an Eminem kind of LP.
Yeah, I think I have the first one just because, but I would probably just put this on and listen to this.
I think there's two greatest hits, isn't there, Joe? I think there's
there
two.
Might be. Yeah.
I think Fall 2, I think, is out as well, but
yeah. And I said the other day too, because I was amongst some younger folk, I said, I'd like to see, I think he'd probably be a good show live, maybe.
Yeah.
He never seems to tour, at least not that I'm aware of. It's not like Eminem's out on a tour. I never see that. There's always a rumor of Eminem going out on a tour, but I would go see. I think I'd go, I'd probably go see. Unless it was dynamic fucking pricing. But anyway, I won't go on about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, actually, you bring that up. In the UK now, the British government have said to Ticketmaster they're not allowed to do that anymore.
Good. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that was being talked about. That's good. That's bullshit. You can't do that. You can't say, here's a price and that. But anyway, again, I don't want to derail where we are. So, but that's good. That's awesome. So
a quick look at the score. Yankees tied 2-2 with Baltimore. Okay. Right. Before he gets too pissed off.
No, we're still winning.
have them. Yeah.
We're still winning. It's okay.
Let's go to Rob.
All right. This is this isn't one. I'm going to show one album, but this isn't one particular album. This is an artist where there was a period of their career that I refused to even pay any attention to because I thought it was garbage. And then I think I matured a little bit, or maybe I just got old and fat like he was. And then I started to appreciate it. And that is none other than the king himself.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
I love Elvis. Elvis just will never be anyone as great as Elvis. But when I was, 15, 16, 17, getting into music, I thought young Elvis was just cool as hell, right? The early Sun session stuff and, the suits and the hip shaking nonsense that they had to censor on TV and all that. I just thought Elvis was the coolest fucking guy to ever walk the earth. Amazing. And then the movies were a little bit kind of corny. And I loved the 68 comeback special. But once he started to get into these diamond-studded jumpsuits, I'm like, what is this shit? Like, dude, it's time to hang it up. They're old and fat and, and it's just like garbage. I'm not going to listen to it. Now that I am of a comparable age to him at that time, I look at it through a different lens. And yeah, it's cornbally and whatever. But old Elvis is still fucking awesome. His voice just got better and better and better. His voice was different. But even you hear him his voice got very much more sort of operatic, and things he could do with his voice was incredible. And even one of those last performances where you see him and he's very, very obese and he's at the piano and sweat's pouring off of him. That is still one of the most incredible vocal performances ever. I mean, the guy's on his deathbed, and it was incredible. So maybe it was my immaturity. Maybe it was who knows what. But I just thought diamond-studded jumpsuit Elvis was garbage. And as I got older, I realized, no, it's just, this is the visual aesthetic of it, and it is what it is. But as a performer and what he was recording, that post-comeback special stuff is amazing. It's a different thing altogether from the Jailhouse Rock, Heartbreak Hotel kind of stuff, which was equally awesome and groundbreaking. I have a deep appreciation now for, as I like to call him, old fat Elvis. Old fat Rob likes old fat Elvis.
There you go. Yeah. So does old fat Joe. So
right.
Yeah.
Cool, mate.
But yeah, that Unchained Melody.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't want to piss. I don't know if I want to bring this up. So I don't want to piss off Rob too much now. The Gallagher Brothers' most redeeming feature is that they aren't rappers. Sorry, Rob.
Wow.
Hey, listen, I love the Gallagher Brothers, and I'm glad that they're not rappers. And hey, we agree on something. So there you go.
Well, that went better than I thought it'd go. Right, yeah. Fantastic.
I don't like rap at all, but
no. Okay, brilliant. I will go next. So, an album that took me a few listens and now I absolutely love it is The Darkness, his new album. Took me a few streams to listen to this one. I pre-ordered this. Well, I sent Rob the link as well straight away. I was like, "There's a new album coming out. Just got to get it." But then when it arrived, it took me a few listens, but I absolutely love it now. It's very it's definitely darkness,
but it's different darkness.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. I really, really love it. Let me just pull it up so you can see.
Did I ever tell you I almost met Justin Hawkins once?
Really? Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't know. Yeah, you should tell that story.
No, it's all right.
All right.
Oh, it's my show. I'll give him the fucking stage. Go
no,
on,
no, I don't want to hear that story.
No.
Nope. Sorry. Show your record. Carry on.
So there you go. There's The Darkness. And I love the song Hot on My Tail. That is one of my favorites on here. And the big one in the UK was The Longest Kiss. So
is that the autograph copy?
It is. If I can find it. There you go.
Yeah, mine too.
It's the autographed one. And I know Rob's got exactly the same one as I got. This came on a very, very cool splattered.
Cool.
Very nice.
I would venture to say that that's maybe my second favorite Darkness record.
Really?
Yeah.
Not One Way Ticket to Hell and Back?
I think it edges that album out just slightly.
Okay.
Because it's just a little bit, it's a little different. It's a little less of Justin's, high falsetto. Like that's still there, but it's a little less of that. And there's some other lead vocals on there, and it just, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's still the Darkness, but it's a little. Maybe it's not quite as dark. Maybe it's like early morning.
Yeah, Johnny, I think Rob has answered that question. That if you're not going to beat that album, so it's pointless trying to compete with that. To be honest, right, Morden is the Darkness. I thought was watched the Canadian Stud Muffin Show, another Sparks album.
It does look like Sparks.
I tell you, he's on form tonight. Morden, you are on form tonight, mate. Never heard of the Darkness. Okay, you need to listen to Permission to London.
Didn't you meet Frankie in the bathroom one time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell a story because it's my fucking show. I don't give a shit. I was in Brixton Academy in London, and this is before they became big. And I was taking a piss in the cubicle in Brixton. They haven't got single cubicles. It's just got this big, massive metal thing that got all the bog bits, like the yellow bits that you go and have a piss in. Those little cube things, or square things, or round things, whatever. And I was just having a piss, and I just kind of looked up like this, and I was like, that guy is massive. Why is he wearing a bandana? And why is he in latex? And I realized then it was fucking Frankie, the guitarist, the bassist from the Darkness. So I zipped up and I went, "Oh, are you Frankie?" And he went, "Yeah." And he went, "Oh, nice to meet you." Zipped himself up, shook my hand, and fucked off.
There you go.
I love that.
Wow.
And I was like,
And then I never washed my hands since.
well, I was like, I got
And
him.
then the next time I was alone, it was like Frankie was doing it for me.
Oh,
Like a Dutch
Wow.
rudder.
Exactly.
I love Rob. He's brilliant. Right. Okay. Richard, where are you? There you are. Okay. What's you,
I'm over
mate?
here. I'm over here. Teacher, call on me. No, I'm kidding. In the 70s, I call especially the late 70s, I call the singles era, because everything was the top 10 was the holy grail of music, and this band dominated a lot of it, and it's Supertramp. So I could go Supertramp and Styx, but that's another story. But Supertramp for this story, Breakfast in America was huge, and that was kind of my introduction to Supertramp. So anything prior to Breakfast in America, I was like, oh, that's in the past. Yeah. Now keep in mind, 78, I was what? Young.
14.
Yes, right.
I was
12 going on 13. Anyway, so Goodbye Stranger and what's the other one off that album? I'm mixing them up. Anyway, I would go forward with Supertramp. So I had Breakfast in America. I picked up the Paris Live album, which I really liked. And what was neat about that album was the fact that it had a lot of their older stuff on it. So I got exposed to some of that older stuff, and I was sort of intrigued by that. So I started later in life going backwards with Supertramp, and Crime of the Century, of course, is a classic. Even in the Quietest Moments, of course, it's a classic. This was one of the last ones I picked up, and it's Crisis What Crisis. And love this because a couple of songs on here, Ain't Nobody But Me, I really love. And is that the only big song off of this one? I thought there was another one. But they do another song on the Paris album from this. But anyway, So Ain't Nobody But Me, as far as the studio, if I had heard the studio version of this and then heard the live version, I would have been the studio version is like, ugh. It's very kind of slow and dirgy, and it's quite plotting. But the rest of this album is so proggy, and to put prog rock and Supertramp together in the same sentence seems kind of like, really? Early Supertramp to me is very proggy. There's those little interlude pieces, and then things get big and bombastic, and lyrically, it's very prog rock. I think I passed on this album for the longest time because the cover sucks.
Yeah. Crisis? What crisis? Yeah.
I get the tongue in cheek title, but okay, yeah, I'm going to buy this album with this polluted, desolate-looking landscape with this guy getting a suntan in the middle. Okay, yeah, oh, that sounds fun. I'll buy that. Yeah, it's a weird album.
Yeah,
and there they are looking all sunny and whatever on the beach. But go figure. Who knew? This turned out to be one of my more, I would say, favorite Supertramp albums. So it went kind of being, I don't know about this. I like Ain't Nobody But Me. Now I like the whole thing. And it's another one of those package albums that flows so nicely. So Supertramp kind of going in their early years, and then they just went more commercial. And nowadays, I mean, I like Supertramp. I like Breakfast in America for the album cover more than I like it for the music.
Yeah, I can certainly take or leave Breakfast in America. But you mentioned the other two and even Indelibly Stamped as well, back to the very, very beginning, right? But even in the quietest moments is the one for me. So, and I don't know, partly as a Canadian, we had a big news show called W5, and it was the theme song for it. So it got a lot of exposure. And I think, again, you're always a bit of an outlier being closer to the border and actually having lived up here for a little while, because they were much bigger here than I think that they were in the States, other than Breakfast in America, which is what they were shooting for. But they were fairly big here before that, and then they got big everywhere. But yeah, just really good stuff. And the one gentleman whose name escapes me because I'm old and stupid just passed away too. Not Roger, but the other main lead singer.
I want to say Rick Davies. Is that right?
Yeah, that might be right. That sounds correct. Yeah. So I think a couple of weeks ago now, but yeah, good stuff. And Paris is a great way to start too, because it'll give you an idea. If you have no idea, if you listen to Paris, yeah, I can do this, and then go back and explore some of the studio.
I would say even Supertramp have greatest hits. I wouldn't recommend them. I would say go to Paris first, because it's their whole package of what they were doing at that time, but it has their older stuff and their current stuff from that time.
Yeah, and it's well done. It sounds good too. I think it sounds good. So, yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, let's go through the comments real quick here. Something for the ladies, handshake too well. Okay. Oh God. Right. Supertramp, so logical and responsible, practical. Love Supertramp.
I agree with you about that Breakfast in America. It's so commercialized. I think that's a big thing. Crimes of the Century is amazing though.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I love that album.
So Boz is saying, I just got their debut album and it's very different from their older stuff or newer stuff, he's saying, sorry. So
it back in the day when I first heard Crime of the Century put it on, that scream right before school, that used to freak me out. It used to give me little chills as a little 13, 14-year-old, maybe 12-year-old at that point. So yeah, just fantastic. So
cool. Right, I'm all caught up now. Brilliant. Daryl.
All right. Okay, so here we go. This one here, possibly gonna shock some people in the comments. Definitely, I think gonna shock Richard. I got this as part of went into the radio station hall, and I would say that this is a VG Plus to near mint copy of this, and it's a case of this is their best album. Everybody's got to have it. It's fantastic. So I picked it up while I was there, and I was like, wow, I'm actually really happy that I got this and I didn't have to pay, because this album I think goes for $30 or $40 at least now. And I think what it is, Alex just released a video. I don't know if it was his last one or the one before it. And the way he explained this is if you're going based on radio hits, then yes, this is going to be, you're just going to hear the radio hits and it's going to kind of be in the middle, but you have to go with the deep cuts that fall kind of between. Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair. It took me a couple of plays to get into it. And don't get me wrong, Head Over Heels, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Shout. Those are fantastic, amazing tracks. But I was thinking when I was listening to this, I'm like, man, are these the only 3 songs that are on here? But then I took a deeper listen to it, went with some of the B-sides or the deep cuts. Broken is amazing. The Working Hour is amazing. And I think Listen is a really good track, right? So I think once you figure it out, that it's not just about the top 40 radio hits, then this is from start to finish a pretty much near perfect, if not masterpiece of an album. But you really have to listen to it from a deeper track perspective. So Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair. I can't say too much else about it because I think if you know, you know. If you haven't heard it, give this one an entire listen multiple times. I also like their previous album, The Hurting. The Hurting is an amazing album again, and I probably could have brought that one out too. Takes a few listens before you get into it, but there's some really phenomenal songs. And the one album that I want from Tears for Fears that I don't have is the one that has Sowing the Seeds of Love and stuff on it. I forget the name of it, but yeah, no, they're a really good duo. They got, I mean, what's his name? Is it Roland? I mean, he came from like one of the worst upbringings you possibly could have. His father abandoning him and all that kind of stuff. And the music kind of speaks for itself like that. But it took me a few plays for me to kind of go, man, it's not the big hits that make this album. It's the B-sides and the deep cuts that do. And I think Alex said it best on his, if you haven't seen it, check out his show. I don't know if it was the last one or the one before, but he talks about that. It's really good.
There's a little bit of another category here.
Sorry, have you listened to their latest album? I think they brought it about 2 years ago. I really enjoyed that one. It was really good.
No, I actually didn't even realize they were still performing. I thought that they had taken a break. I'll have to check that out.
They look different.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, Joe. Go on, mate. What are you going to say? Sorry, mate.
No, that's fine. Two things. Are we calling it you helped clean up the radio station or you robbed the radio station?
I am calling it I had special access.
Sure. I'm good with that. That's good. Okay. No, that's
he
fair.
He liberated some captive records.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
It's all good. And
They were homeless.
and the other question for Richard, again, us being the senior members here. So we, for lack of the proper term, we lived through that album when it was that album. These guys have kind of come into it a little bit later. Yeah, Springer gets a nice, I know why he's doing that. But so at the time, again, a lot of overplay, a little bit overplay, and it was, it's okay, but I'm kind of tired of it. So it's different, I think, because you and I, again, would have been around when that was out, where Daryl and Rob and Chris are coming to that a little bit later. So I'm not sure. And again, I guess I've come around a little bit to that album too, where it was, I'm done. That's overplayed, and I'm not going to listen to that anymore. Oh, yeah, I probably should still listen to that a little bit. And maybe that's why, Daryl, because it is pretty solid all the way through, not just the singles. So.
But if you didn't listen to it all the way through and just went with the strength of the singles, you'd be missing so much out of that album.
Yeah,
that's very true.
And the same with The Hurting in the same regard. There were a couple of songs that were big-ish, and the rest of it, no. I mean, I don't think The Hurting sold all that well. It sold great in the UK, but not here. And that was another one where it's like loop back, go into The Hurting, then Songs of the Big Chair. I would like to go, kind of deeper with them because I have a feeling there's some gems that I don't even know they have.
Yeah, so the album Songs from the Big Chair, my mum had it and she's given it to me. So I've got the original pressing, UK pressing of that album. Morton was saying, is it Tipping Point? Yes, it is. It is Tipping Point. Came out in 2022. I can't keep track of time here. I thought it was last year, but it's obviously not. 2022 it came out. And then the other album I was thinking of was Songs for a Nervous Planet. So it's got live tracks on there where they were in Toronto and they sing like kind of their greatest hits on the album.
And they have several albums. They probably have more albums than I know they have.
Yeah. So I'll just 2 seconds. Let me just make myself big so I can just show you guys. So this one was the kind of greatest hits live album they did. So it's more of a live album. And then the newer one that I was kind of aware of was this one, Tipping Point, which came out in 2022. So yeah. Cool, mate. As long as he's happy, I'm happy. I don't care. Right, there you go. I'm happy for you, Rob.
Thank you. Well, we still got a lot of game to go. So.
True.
Yeah, this game is freaking taking forever. There's base runners every inning, right? So
I just love the fact we can incorporate baseball into vinyl collection from a guy living in Tenby in West Wales. So, right, Joe, over to you.
all right. I have talked about these guys a fair bit, including I think maybe Wednesday or last week when I was on with you. But it is the Bee Gees. So this band falls into the category of the time when they hit with Saturday Night Fever would have been 77-ish, right? I think 76, 77, something like that. And it was all disco all the time. And that was certainly not my jam. I might have listened to a little bit. Miss You and I Was Made for Loving You was about as disco as I would get. But eventually I started to become more familiar with all of their product beforehand. That's not to say, again, that they are not very talented in their disco era and or that music and a little bit after. They wrote hit song after hit song after hit song. Their voices were phenomenal. But this is my weekly, it seems like, suggestion that if you write off the Bee Gees for only the disco stuff, you are foregoing a lot of very, very good music. Like all of this stuff, this holds up, and maybe it's sacrilege amongst company here, but this holds up with Beatles stuff, and this holds up with a lot of stuff of the time frame. They wrote some really, really great songs. They obviously had all the harmonies, they had the voices, they had everything else going for them. So again, I talk about them a fair bit, where I too, because when I grew up, it was the disco stuff. That's what I heard first from them, because we listened to the radio in my house at the time, but we didn't listen to a lot of pop music. We listened to some older stuff and things like that. So I was not aware of everything up until I started to listen to myself. And at that point, it was disco Bee Gees versus these Bee Gees. So really good stuff. This is, of course, again, this is for you, Chris. This is the greatest hits. I do have some of those older albums, but Holiday, I've got a message to, or I've got to get a message to you. Words, I started a joke. Yeah, it's just really, really good. New York mining disasters on there. There's a couple of different ones, but this kind of gets you what you need from earlier on, although the albums are fantastic. Again, I'm showing the greatest hits, but the albums that all those songs come from are pretty darn good as well. So again, a band I wrote off because of a certain style that they kind of morphed into, and I didn't listen to the early stuff, and then, oh man, I got to listen to the early stuff, and I still appreciate the 4/4 beat stuff a little bit as well.
So when I was on Rob's live stream last time with Sam St. John, he said to me, you need to go right back, Chris, to their early stuff, because their early stuff is different to what you're used to on the radio. It's
100%. Yeah. You can play stuff from this era and people go, that's not the Bee Gees. That's not them. You know, I guess it kind of sounds like them, but that's not them, because they were so big and so predominant with Saturday Night Fever and that genre and that era that a lot of this got kind of lost in the mix. And I'm not sure if I'm the only one that got lost in the mix for, but I bet I'm not. So
Joe, just a quick one. Can I just see the cover of that a minute? Because I didn't
Yes.
have a chance to see it. So
You're going to ask who the fourth guy is?
No, I'm just wondering, those sleeves you got look amazing, mate. It's where can I get them from?
You should rip that shrink off this.
Actually, yeah, funny you say that because
Rip it and rip it.
actually, I have 2 copies of this. This happens to be the one that I pulled out. And just for Rob, I will
rip it
do
and
this
rip
for
it.
you.
Oh, look at that.
There you go. And
That is
now what
fun.
I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to walk over to my supply of vinylstoragesolutions.ca outer sleeves because I think it doesn't even have an inner. Like I said, I got 2 copies of this. So I'm going to need a vinylstoragesolutions.ca inner sleeve and outer sleeve to now put on this. And when I bought them, I used the promo code Northern10 and I got myself 10% off. And I went and I bought a bunch and they are fantastic. So vinylstoragesolutions.ca, you too can wrap it up. Remember, kids, wrap it up. Don't do drugs and wrap it up with vinylstoragesolutions.ca, but use the promo code Northern10.
I love it, Rob. When you weren't on last week, just a little plug for you. I said to Joe.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we still got it in. Yeah, for sure.
That's fantastic.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's have a look.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, that's cool. Right. I think he's in a good mood. I think they seem to be winning
Right now.
They're up.
Okay.
Yeah, they're up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a controversial. People are gonna. I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anyway, but people are gonna. This guy's an idiot. I did not get this album for a while. Born to Run.
wow.
So here's the thing. Well documented my foray into Bruce Springsteen. I came to Bruce very, very late. Only a year and a half or so ago, and Nebraska was my gateway. That was when I heard Nebraska. I didn't know what it was. And I went, "Holy shit, this is something." And then I expanded out from that, and everyone raves that Born to Run is a perfect album. It's fantastic, and so I bought it. Garage sale, not a garage sale, like a flea market or used, whatever. I didn't pay much for it. It's in great shape. And I listened to it and I went, yeah, fine. And I listened to it again and I went, yeah, it's fine. It took me a few listens to go, okay, this is really good. And this is, I guess I wasn't looking at it through the context of music at the time because this was, I think a little different from the landscape of what was out at the time. Great, honest, working class rock and roll with a saxophone. I mean, shit, that's not what you heard a lot of on the radio back then, I would assume. I just think when I listened to it, I mean, I went, and honestly, I'm still not a fan of the song Thunder Road, which opens the album. I just kind of go, Thunder Road. Yeah. But the album is fantastic. 10th Avenue Freeze Out was kind of the first one, other than the song Born to Run. And, it took a while to grow me. Backstreet's fantastic, Jungleland, great. But it just took me a while to realize why this is so great. Do I think it's a perfect album like I've heard a lot of people say? No, I don't. I think it's a very, very, very good record. Not even in my top few Springsteen albums. There's a few others I like more than this. But it just took me probably several weeks of listening to this to go, okay, I get why people say that this is as good as it is or why people love it like they do. So there you go.
Cool, mate. Very, very cool. Right. Okay, so I'm looking at the time now. We're coming up to the 2-hour mark. So if you want to show kind of what you got left or one or two you got left, we'll go for that. On the Bruce Springsteen bandwagon, let's keep it going with Nebraska. Now, I know Rob had shown this a few times. I think me and Richard kind of picked this up around about the same time, wasn't it, Rich? I believe. Yep. Streamed it. I was like, okay, I'll order it because Rob said this is pretty good. So I went ahead and ordered it. And we knew it was coming, didn't we? So this is Nebraska. Love this album on at least once a week. I was actually listening to it yesterday. And even Liz was like, oh, again. She's like, you've got over 200 in your collection. You keep picking this one. I'm like, well, I love it. So, But yeah, Nebraska. There's the inside. So very, very cool. My favorite one on here is I love Used Cars for some reason. I don't know why. I just really enjoy that song. And I also like My Father's House. I think this is a really, really cool one. And I'm really, really looking forward to the film that's coming out. I can't wait for that.
I'm looking for the deluxe box set.
I'm going to wait. And I am going to
Mine's already ordered.
I know. I know. But I've ordered so much fucking vinyl.
I know.
It's like ridiculous. Another band never really got into was the Grateful Dead. So decided to get the greatest hits, and I love it. So I think this is me and the Grateful Dead done, though. If I'm being honest, I'm not going back through the catalogue because you're going to spend thousands and thousands of pounds just to pick this one up. And then my final one was the Foo Fighters' new album. Didn't really get it in the beginning, but as soon as I bought it, pre-ordered it, I really, really love it. And this is more of a tribute to Taylor Hawkins. So there's my selection for this evening. So we will head over to. Let me look at the comments. Let's have a quick look. Hello, John. Hello, mate. How's it going? I'm not a huge fan of the 70s Springsteen. My sweet spot is 80s and 2000s. So I kind of get what he's saying. And then we've got Nebraska with a full band is going to sound good. Yes, I can't wait. I've seen some releases on streaming. And some of the tracks they've released sounds good. So I believe one of them is Born in the USA.
Yep.
Which kind of threw me a bit. I was like, well, why is this on Nebraska then? And not
it was recorded at the same time, and it was originally going to be more of an acoustic number.
Okay. That's probably why then.
About a year ago, he did it live on Stern. He did the Nebraska version of Born in the USA on the Howard Stern show. It's really good.
I'll have to check that out. I didn't realize.
It's a pretty good interview all around. There's another suggestion for you. It's actually it's a couple hours long, I think, isn't it? Yeah. But it's good. It's got performances and Patty's there and stuff. So yeah, it's good.
Right. There's my choice. Richard.
Well, Rob mentioned Elvis. I'm mentioning Elvis for slightly different reasons.
Okay.
So I got into Elvis, I think I've told the story many times, as a very young guy, like age. The first time I heard Elvis, I was probably 4. My parents were playing greatest hits. So my intro to Elvis was 50s Elvis. I like Rob was saying, where there's that window of this is what Elvis sounds like. Fast forward to when I started buying records on my own. The first album I actually picked up by Elvis that I bought with my own money was that Aloha from Hawaii album. And because we had seen it on TV 70s, my God. But then I started becoming the Elvis fan, and I was buying the albums that came out after that. But for me, the lost era of Elvis was not just the movie soundtrack, 90% of which were absolutely dismal, was that little window of time from after the 68 special to about 1972. And vocally, Elvis was in amazing form, but didn't sound like really either side of that swing. Older Elvis sounds like this. 50s Elvis sounds like that. Early 60s Elvis was all those happy, sappy. When Elvis Back in Memphis came out, and From Elvis in Memphis came out, and vocally these sound spectacular. It is Elvis in full form doing, essentially cover songs from other songwriters. So there's and the grass won't pay no mind, Stranger in My Hometown, and Here at the Wind. This is the story. And you would go, wow, this is a super mature adult Elvis. And it took me ages to appreciate these, and I've had these, even when I was younger, I had these on albums, and they just kind of went, I don't like those anymore, and I traded them in for something else. And so Elvis, that era of Elvis was sort of the last to really hit me. I love Sun Sessions and all that stuff. But anyway, now going back into the 80s, I like the Smiths. My intro to the Smiths was Meat Is Murder. Then I went forward into Louder Than Bombs and Strange Ways and Queen's Dead. But their first album, I never really got into for years. I just did not particularly care for the style of it. I love
that doesn't take much.
Yeah, well, but vocally, Stuff for Little Children. How do you end an album on such a dour note?
Yeah,
Not that His Murder ends any better, but this one took me a long time. I appreciate it now. Do I absolutely love it? No, but now I get the whole picture. I got 3 more. We good?
Yep.
This I'm blaming Alex at Beer and Vinyl for getting me back into the album last week. The Tech Hats album, and I absolutely love it. It's like the first time I've ever heard it, and it's so good. And I was like, wow, I haven't played that in ages. And I went back to it, and this is an album I picked up years ago. Used copy, not escape. And kind of put it on, went, it's pretty good. It's kind of what I expected. It's sort of that, early 80s Brian Ferry kind of, schmarmy Roxy music type feel. But this album is stunningly gorgeous. And I didn't appreciate it for what it was until I kind of revisited it. Found out this got a reissue last year. Immediately bought that and the album before that, which is called spent a pat on the reissues of this because I'm like, yep, I like this enough to invest serious bucks in that one. 2 more. Prefab Sprout. I've harped about Prefab Sprout a lot. And it's good. In the UK, it was Stephen Queen album. And for whatever, rights and blah, 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 they couldn't release it in the States at this. When I first got this, I got it on CD, and I thought it was okay. It's again that sort of art pop type of sound. Sounds like, Bonnie and When Love Breaks collectively. This is one of those beautifully produced, beautiful albums that I don't care who you are, you would probably love to hear this. This is one of those albums I would play on a long road trip, especially at night. Woo, so pretty. All right, last one. Let's go back to Kiss and talk about
The Elder.
The Elder came out. It was a soundtrack to a movie that, never happened. I think it was a made-up thing. Oh, it's a gatefold. I better show that, huh?
That's right.
There you go. Nothing much to see here. The most I'm not going to say lackluster, but most uninteresting Kiss album cover in the history of Kiss. One of those ones that will take you a while to get into. I definitely got into the Ace songs, like Dark Light is a great song. But other songs on here are kind of like, this is Kiss? This is like Kiss. It does have, the fans. I am a semi-fan, but it's still at the bottom of the heap for Kiss records for me. But that's what I got. So.
Cool. So more to say, perfect pop album, Richard. Prefab Sprout.
It really is. And some of their later stuff is very different from this, where this is like a breezy pop synth album. Their later stuff is kind of weird. But they have merit too. So they're just one of those bands you either kind of get or you might just gravitate to a best of if there is one.
Okay.
The Elder, I never hated off the start. I listened to it a while ago. I still don't like it, love it. It is what it is. It's that outlier, but it's not horrible.
Yeah.
It's certainly not what some people claim for it to be or whatever. But
then it
I
can
don't
sound like you need to like put it in a shredder or burn it or something. I'm like, no, what were you thinking, Bob Ezrin, when you?
Yeah, but what about Heroes, especially if if it was of today, or if it would have been like in the MTV heydays, and they would have done a better video for it, I think it would have got. I think it lent itself to visual, or it could have lent itself to more visual, like Mr. Blackwell and stuff like that. It could have.
Blackwell's good.
I know it was supposed to be the movie, right? But so
Okay, is
Movie.
this the score now?
It is the score. I got the notice, and then the app said something different, and then the app updated. It's 8-4.
Alejandro Kirk with the 3-run home run, 2-run home run.
Sir.
Yeah, it was good. Electric Fetus, is that the record
Last
store in
time I was
Minneapolis,
there,
or is that
I
different?
Picked that
Yeah,
up.
I've been
because
there.
It was the best of the T-shirts they had. The others were kind of like,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a good shop though.
it's
Pretty
very
good
nice shop. Hard to get to.
Yeah, agreed.
Fuck is going on here?
Attaboy.
Big.
Good job.
There you go. Hi.
So talk. What is right? Hang on. Talking about t-shirts. Don't. It's a man thing. That t-shirt.
It's a man thing.
Now I know the answer to this, but why
Branded.
is tits up derogatory? I have no problem with
Oh,
tits
it's
up,
great.
but I understand why.
It's
Anyway.
just to say in the UK, it's all on fucking tits up.
Oh no, let's hear it. So
I still want to get a T-shirt that says "I came on Eileen." I heard they have those in the UK.
we should write a song about what this happened. What was that girl's name again? Eileen. Dexy's Midnight Run.
This is going nuts over there.
Oh, fucking hell. Daryl?
All right, I've got about 7 or 8 to show.
I
so I'm
got
gonna
to
try to get
jump
through
off
this
here,
quickly.
guys. Dinner's waiting, so I got to jump off.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries,
All
mate.
All right, guys.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for having
joining
me.
Okay,
So, all right.
See you guys.
good days.
All right, so Joe, you showed your surrealistic pillow earlier. This is
I
kind of my psych one that fits into that. Took me a little bit to get, and once again, it has to do with the fact that there is one song on here that I think is 15 minutes long. It's the one that it's known for. It's got like a 3 or 4 minute like short version, and that's Iron Butterflies in a God of the Vita. But it's really good hits on it. It's really, it's not. I mean, it's psyche, but it's not full on psych. It's more, I would call it late 60s rock with a little bit of psych influence. Next, we're going to go to Scotland.
Oh, I love that.
This one's taken me a few, not just 2. I would say 5 to 10 to get The Crossing by Big Country, but it's a really good album nonetheless. And of course, I've got the Obi strip on there. I got that one from Peter. Music is a Journey a little bit ago as BCLT. Richard, you and I are in the big chair. This is Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Really good album, but I think once again it falls into that. It's got Relax on it. It's got Two Tribes on it. Those are the big hits. But if you dig deep into this, and it's a double album, it's absolutely amazing. Really good stuff. Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
And
This
Sonic.
one here, I think, falls into the. My dad was never really into this stuff either, and it's the 27 Club, but Pearl and Janis Joplin. I've really once I listened to this through a couple times, I mean, it just clicks. It's really good stuff. And I really want to get into Janis a little bit more.
Daryl, just to stop real quick. That Joplin one,
Yeah,
I've tried. it's
tough. It's tough. You're not into blues, and you're not into that really psych blues, I guess you might even call it. Yeah, that one's tough. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Go
on. This one here I bought while I was in Spain. I was really intrigued by it because the guy in the shop played it. It's taken me a few to get into it since then, but it's really good. If you're into Joy Division and that dark wave stuff, Decima Victima, which is a Spanish band, I think it's one of their only albums. This is a repress. I think it's from, what year is that from? This is a 2024 press, but I think it's late 70s, early 80s. But if you're into things like Joy Division and stuff and the dark wave, you might really like that. The one song that was on it was on the X-Files, and I always think of it as a Halloween album. But man, I think the reason that this one's taken me forever, it scares the shit out of me. Like, I don't know what's going through this guy's mind when he makes his music. That's Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. This is to Let Love In. But this guy, he's got some real wackadoodle stuff. And lyrically, this isn't going to be for everyone. I mean, it talks about it's got some really nasty stuff on it. We're going to put it that way. Outlaw Country, There's in the Storm, and it's got a cover of what's that song? I Can't Stop Loving You, which is one that Phil Collins did in the 90s. But this is really good. If you don't like outlaw country, but you want to get into that kind of ghost country, Outlaws, that's a really cool album. And then last but not least is my only record store day purchase, and that's Harum Scarum's Anthology. It's a greatest hits album. And this falls into I really like side A. I play side A all the time, but I hardly ever flip it over to side B. And I think what it is there's a distinct difference between their 90s stuff and their 2000 stuff. And I think that's what this one suffers from. But I've recently started listening to side 2 again, and it's really top notch. So Harum Scarum, because it's not in shrink. That's the inside. Just a cool band from Canada if you haven't heard of them. So those are my last 8. Sorry, I overtook the show with 8 of them. I tried to get through them.
Well, we lost Rob, so
I think I have 8 too, which I will do quickly also. But Outlaws are great. A lot of great, good country guitar in it, but then just really good guitar in it as well. And I've got a few more of their albums, and it's good stuff for sure.
You know, Joe, I almost went with Poco's Legacy on that one too.
Sure, yeah.
Because that's another band that if you're not into country, you're either going to like them or you're not. And it took me a little bit to get.
Yeah, good stuff though. I like Poco as well. So
yeah.
All right. Okay. I'll do these quick because if you pull them, you got to show them. So I've talked about this young lady ad nauseum as of late because I'm excited to go. But again, she falls into the category of I had kind of not written her off, but whatever. That's just a lot of fluff bullshit. But album. And there she is there as well. So Lady Gaga, an artist that I came to my senses, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Others might still argue with me that I have not come to my senses. These guys, again, fall into the overplay category. But, man, this is a fantastic album, as is the Tron soundtrack. And I can't remember, Richard, did you show something these guys last time? Maybe it was Trevor on one of our shows. Somewhere along the line, someone showed. What's that?
I think it was Trevor last week. I think
not this one, but he showed the other album. But really good. Again, super overplayed, but fantastic production and just good stuff. I have to be in the mood, but I'm in the mood more these days than I was at the time. And there's the gatefold. That's pretty cool. And I think this was some sort of, I don't know, special reissue.
I think, Joe, actually, it was Cam the show did because I think Trevor was saying that back years ago, they thought it was somebody else that were in the band. There was like a conspiracy going on that it was somebody from America or Canada or something. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
no, you're exactly right. Yes. So, and then they did the soundtrack to the second Tron, and now it's all Nine Inch Nails and Reznor, I think, on the new in Aries, the new one. This is a band that a lot of buddies listen to, but I was banging my head more so at the time. This is a band that I have come around to. Good stuff, ska for lack of the proper term, but the beat. But and this is again for you. This is greatest hits. So Mirror in the Bathroom, Twist and Crawl, Tears of a Clown remake. Really, really good stuff. I like the English beat. This is the English beat, still not just the beat at the time. One of the old we're called the English beat here because nobody's named that here, and then we're called the beat over there because they are. This one falls into the category, what the hell was I thinking? I think what it was is I really, really liked License to Ill, and then Sabotage came out, and I didn't get Sabotage at first. This is, again, the greatest hits for you, my friend. Beastie Boys. I was a big fan of the early silly stuff, and then the other came out, Paul's Boutique and stuff like that came out, and I was a fan that went away a little bit, and then went, well, no, it's all good. Just listen to it all. So that's a band that falls into that.
You know, the only one that I don't get by them, I don't get their intergalactic stuff. That's the one that I don't get.
Yeah, and I kind of enjoy that one. I don't know. It's that one I can put on, and I kind of like that one. So think back into the rap category a little bit. Run DMC. This is an unbelievably good album. And I wasn't drawn to it at first because it's like, well, don't screw around with Aerosmith. You're rap guys. Just do yours or whatever. But Tricky on here and everything on here and Run DMC are fantastic. So again, one that I'm glad that I came around to. Real quick, got a whole bunch more.
That was a good kind of transition with rap and Aerosmith that I've ever seen.
It was, sure. Yeah, and earlier raps, like that's the thing. I think I'm more of a fan of the earlier stuff than I am of the current hip hop and a little bit more of that. I'm back to Run DMC and the early days, Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, stuff like that, and along with others, NWA, kind of, they were a little out there for me. But anyway, I digress. Here's a band again that I think I'd kind of written off a little bit as just a pretty boy band. But man, this is some really, really good stuff. And this just happens to be. I think I had not considered them. I in my mind, if I remember correctly, I thought, well, that's a band that wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for MTV. It might still be a true statement, but then I realized doesn't matter if that's the case or not. It's still good stuff. But even back to the one before with Girls on Film and things like that. Good stuff. I'm close, honest. Things that sound dirty, but they're not. The short version of the story is I was raised by my grandparents, so there's a bit of a generational gap. I've told it lots. I won't tell it again. So again, in our house, we listen to certain things that maybe Richard, you weren't necessarily listening to. I guess I don't know what your parents listened to. But anyway, so Frank Sinatra falls into that category of we listened to it a lot when I was a kid, and I had no use for it, but then have come around to it probably in the last 10 years, maybe a little bit earlier than that. But I can put on Frank all the time, listen to that. And the same kind of goes for Johnny Cash. This is the songs that made him famous. So this is back to Cry, 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 and all the good stuff from earlier on. Really coming around to Johnny Cash. Not recently. Again, probably 10, 15 years. I'm almost 60 now, so I'll say around my 40s, I kind of started to grow up and give some things that I had written off a little bit more of a chance. And then lastly is this young lady. I don't know why it wasn't appealing from the start. It should have been. Maybe all the antics, kind of like Lady Gaga. There was a lot of bullshit and a lot of fluff, and I didn't listen to the voice, and I didn't listen to the lyrics for what they were. I didn't listen to the voice. I just saw a lot of the bullshit, and maybe it would have been a little different if I was in the UK. We kind of got the worst of Amy Winehouse over here. We didn't get the best of. Not necessarily that there was a best of time for her, unfortunately. A bit of a tortured soul right from the start, but it's good stuff, and I really enjoy it now. And I wish I wouldn't have written her off from the start. And it's a bit of a shame. So there you go. That's the stack.
Amy Winehouse was massive in the UK. She was just, oh my goodness, it was insane.
What's nice to see. Sorry, did I cut you off? Are you done?
No, go on.
What's nice to see is that she's kind of brought that genre back a little bit. You know, there's Ray is an example, but even what's her name? Well, there's more than one, but I'm trying to think of. It doesn't matter. Regardless, she helped mainstream a little bit, and so there's maybe some artists that we're more familiar with now because they're getting a little more exposure because she had such success that she did. So, like Josh Stone is an example a little bit, I think. Fantastic, unbelievable, and not necessarily that she compares to, as I pointed at Daft Punk, Amy Winehouse, but again, another artist that maybe, although she was probably around the same ilk, the same time, but definitely falls into that category of a different style that maybe some of us didn't appreciate before and have come around to it. So that's the long-winded answer to these are people that I should have realized were better and were good. I don't know if I wrote them off that way, but that I've come around to.
The question I was asking, what was Lady Gaga like live? Because you've seen her live. I mean,
no, I haven't. I'm going to.
Oh, you're going to? Sorry.
That's why I'm talking about her so much, and it's not till April, so you only have to put up with like 3 or 4 or 5 more months of me being excited about it. But I am very excited about it. I think she's going to be a very good show. I think so. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, exactly.
It's a good pick there, lads. We usually do, and see what's going on with everybody's channel, that kind of stuff. Rich, anything coming up with you at the moment, or?
Too early to tell. I'm trying to decide if this Friday live stream thing is going to become a consistent feature. I'm still trying to find a time that works for the world, which is impossible, really. I have video ideas. Now I'm kind of back to that thing where I have video ideas, but I haven't executed them yet, or I don't know what to do or how to do that video, that type thing. So I don't really have a video planned yet for this week. So stay tuned.
Okay, cool, mate. Daryl.
Absolutely nothing going on my channel lately till I can get my stuff together here. I gotta just make a video. Maybe I'll try to make one tonight or tomorrow. Just to, like I said, I got a whole list of stuff, but not a lot of time. That's my biggest thing. Next week.
It's about time.
Yeah, I should be on. Well, this week coming up, I'll be on Rob and Joe's show, our show on Wednesday night. Following week, I will, and then it's off to my hunt break. So we get a 1 week break up here. It's not common in Canadian schools, but because of we go back to school a little bit early up where I am, so we get a break. So I'll have a 1 week break in October. Maybe I'll make some videos then.
Yeah, you should do a thread. Do colored vinyl. See how many people jump on that one.
What kind of a thread?
Yeah, do a colored vinyl thread. See how many people jump on that one. Joe, what's going on in the shop, mate?
Well, if Daryl's got absolutely nothing going on, I'm somewhere below that. I'm not exactly sure. Not necessarily at the shop stuff. So, you know, coming on now that racing season's done, it helps a little bit. Football will still factor in a little bit, but I appreciate that you asked me on. It's always a blast to get together with you guys. Our Wednesday show, you know, you call it mine and Rob's show. It's our show, Daryl. You should.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it is. So maybe Richard will have me on a Friday. So, you know, I'm always up to hang out with my buddies and talk about music. So that, to me, that's the fun part. I'll keep doing them for the shop. I'm not sure how many I'll do for myself, but you know, I love doing this. And so that's the plan for right now. I do want to change up a little bit at the store. And I mentioned it the other day. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to keep my 12 things that don't belong in the shop, which really is a promo. I mean, I'm fully open about that. It's for no other reason than, hey, come and buy these. But I do put a little bit of thought into it. But I'm going to start to maybe have some folks on, like, I'm going to do a power pop 12 things that shouldn't be here, and I'm going to have Emma come on and not necessarily critique them because I don't want her to come on and go, well, that one sucks. Well, yeah, come on by this. So, opinion, but that's the chance you take. I could have people pick them and then talk about them, but so we'll see how that factors in. I'm not sure. And then when I talk about I don't know how much shoegaze we've got, but then I would have Richard on it. And if I had some 80s on, I'd have. And then if I had some, so that's the new plan for the shop, is to make it a little more conversational versus me just going, here, these are the albums. And I think they're okay still, but, and put them down, show the next one. So make it a little bit more of something for others to watch other than those that maybe are looking to come into the shop and seeing a few things. I hate doing the flip videos. I'm not a fan of that. I don't understand why there's shops that do that. I want you to come in and have a look. I don't want you to look at a flip video and go, well, there's nothing in there for me, so I'm not going to bother to go in, because that's just showing that one bin. So that's why I do the 12 things, or I do the whack-a-mole or whatever. I just show you a little bit. It's like, here's a little bit of crack. Just try this little bit of crack. And then come in, we got a whole bunch of different crack.
The way you do it is amazing. I love watching you on
I appreciate that. Yes. Yeah.
And if people, like, I've seen vinyl channels that just flip through stuff, and I just go, I'm bored of this. And they got music in the background, they're flipping through.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're not actually talking about a record here. So I get
that.
Here's a question for you, Joe. My wife was asking me this not that long ago. Your game show, any plans on getting that running again?
If I do, I'm going to tweak it a little bit, because I the first 3 were great and you guys were all fun and it was fantastic, but I got to come up with a little more of a participation aspect to it versus me just going blah 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 and then answer the question, and that's all the guests got to talk. A party style of thing where if you ring in, you have to come on and answer it a little bit more, but we'll see. I'm not sure. It was fun and I enjoyed it, so hopefully we'll bring it back at some point.
In the UK, we had a TV program called Supermarket Sweep.
Yeah.
So he'd ask a question, and then people would have to run round and get that item. Maybe you should do that with a vinyl. So you just say, this artist, and they're going to run to the vinyl collection, bring it back as soon as possible. There you got a joke.
Maybe. Well, we could at least make that one of the questions, right? That could be be the coming out of the break in the middle. Yeah. So yeah. I do think about it because I enjoyed doing it. It was fun. Whether people watched it or not, it didn't matter. It's hanging out with you guys again. I never really cared too much how many people watch. I mean, obviously, we wanted people to watch and see our things, but it's more just hanging out with you guys and those that watch and having fun. So,
I just got to say, I'm a 2-time champion. Just saying.
You are, as of right now, you are the defending champion. The last episode.
I do like the one you do in this. I'm going to end this stream soon, but I do like the one where you're walking into camera, Joe. The old school walking into the camera, showing people what you go off from your desk.
I as I've always tried to do, I never profess to be an expert or really know what the hell I'm talking about in any way, shape, or form on doing these. So really, it's personable as much as I possibly can make it. And I'm surprised and glad at the same time that anybody actually watches it, but it does. And you know what? And people do come in and pick up those albums as well. So it works for kind of the original concept of doing it, but then other people watch and comment when they come in. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Yeah. And for those that care, because our Rob left, it's the top of the 7th. It's still 8-4 for the Blue Jays.
There you go.
So,
for myself, next week I'm just going to do what I've picked up through September, which is a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. Here, buy this. That's one of the problems, because even in this one, I think I ordered a couple more as well. So it's too damn easy for me too. That's the other problem. It's just too damn easy, because all I do is I go to our supplier. Oh, it's in stock. Yeah, sure. What?
I noticed Richard was doing the same thing, writing the whole pile of them down.
wrote down two. I was kind of, oh yeah, and they were both from you, Daryl.
There you go.
Now, come to think of it, now I need to do my part 2 of September finds, which has gotten even bigger than it was going to be in the first place. So,
I did think about doing part 1 and 2, but I just been so busy with work and stuff. I was just like, I'm just gonna put up a 20-minute video.
I just need to know when Chris is going to pay the $30
Oh,
shipping
mate.
fee from Canada.
It's, you just want me to spend money. We've been through this.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks to my guests tonight. Rob, just in case anyone's wondering, tune in on Wednesday evening in Canada. In the UK, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Go check
What is it?
the-
8 Eastern time, eh, Richard? I think it is 8 Eastern.
Yeah.
8 Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
it's
8.
6 o'clock in Joe's time and my time. So
That's right. And
Yes.
we keep Chris up every once in a while, and he comes and joins us.
Yeah. And I wake it up the next day and go, why am I so tired? Richard, Daryl, Rob, go and check out their channels. They've got amazing channels. I'll put a link in the description later on for Joe's 2 channels and the guys on the channels. Go
Yeah.
check them out. It's really good. I'd like to thank everybody who's made comments and interacted this evening. Everybody's going to watch this later. I really appreciate it. And we will catch you next Sunday over here in Tembe. So thanks so much for watching. And from all of us here, have a good night. See you next week.